first I'm going to create a label for my text field, and I'm going to name my text field as tf underscore name. Usually I like to give a prefix to my HTML elements, so it is a text field in this case, hence the prefix is a tf. The HTML content in the label is what is your name. Then we're going to type input type equals to text, which is going to create a input text field. Next, I'm going to create a second label, which is tf for tf underscore age, and I'm going to type in the HTML content as what is your age. Then I'm going to create an input type, and this time it is a number because I'm going to key in a numeric input as my age. Last but not least, I'm going to create a button specifying the ID as btn underscore start. Okay, btn stands for button as the prefix in short. To test this, I'm going to save it to, for example, my desktop first. Okay, I'm just going to save this into my web server directory. In fact, you can save it anywhere you want, so long as you save it as a HTML file, you are able to test it. So in this case, I'm going to save it as a jQuery recap. Okay, so now I've got some basic HTML up. I want to create some formatting. I want to change the second text field to the second row, and I'm going to shift the alert button to the third row. So I'm going to create a break tag in between these HTML elements. Okay, so now I need to make use of jQuery. In order to make use of jQuery, you need to download the JS file. As mentioned, you can also use the CDN version, but in this case, and moving forward, we're going to download the entire package, because if you're going to export this as a mobile application, we need to download it anyway. So there are a few ways to download the jQuery package. One is to copy the link. Okay, make sure you type in HTTP first. Open up the JavaScript file and save the JavaScript file into the same folder as your HTML file. Okay, as a good practice, I always like to store my JavaScript into a JS folder. So this is what I'm doing here. So it's been saved into the same directory, into a subdirectory known as the JS folder. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a script tag, reference the source to JS folder, the jQuery file.js, with a type of text/JavaScript. Okay, with this script in place, with this script tag in place, I can start writing my JavaScript. Okay, to make this recap more complete, I'm going to just key in the title as jQuery recap. Okay, so now I'm going to create a script tag. This is where my JavaScript for interactivity on the HTML will be entered into, all my instructions and codes for this web page. Okay, to begin with, I'm going to create what we call a self-executing function. Okay, the purpose of this self-executing function is so that the entire web page will be loaded before it runs the codes inside here. Why? If we were to if we were to run any code before the HTML has been created, okay, to prove my point, I'm going to console log out. I'm going to print out what is the button alert. Okay, as you can see, if I attempt to call the button alert here, it couldn't find anything because the HTML runs in a sequential format. However, if I were to do the console log in my self-executing function, you can see that I'm able to find my button. That's because this self-executing function is ensuring that the entire HTML script has been loaded, has been finished reading by the browser before it runs any instruction inside. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into creating the event handler for the button. So I'm gonna assign a click event handler to the alert button, and I'm gonna pass the value of my TF text field name value into the variable name, and we're going to look using the jQuery selector ID again to look for the tf underscore age value and pass it into the age variable. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to call the alert method. I'm going to type in some text. Hi, I am concatenate with the name variable, whatever name that you key in into the text field, and my age concatenate with the and I am age variable and concatenate with years old. So now I'm going to try the HTML. So I'm going to key in my name. Okay, I'm going to key in my age. There you go.